Liam, first off, before we get to the football, it's a strange old time at the moment with the sad passing of Her Majesty the Queen last week. Just from your perspective, particularly sad news?
No, really sad news, I think, for everyone who's involved with the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth. She's been an amazing leader for 70 years. And obviously we are going through the period of mourning, which I'm sure everybody in this country completely respects. And my sincere condolences to everyone in the royal family. I know that's extended to everyone at the football club. And I was actually driving past the stadium yesterday, and I saw the tribute up on the screen from everyone, and it made me remember that she actually opened Pride Park. So she meant a great deal to us as a football club, to us as a nation. And I'm sure now King Charles will do a fantastic job moving forward.
You mentioned that about opening of the stadium. I think there's only 2 stadiums that should open. I think there's a stand at West Ham as well. So it's a real piece of Derby County history that she opened the stadium.
No, an amazing moment in our history was moving to Pride Park. To have our Queen open that stadium is something else, and I'm sure that will be remembered forever. Really, so I think obviously you want to play games of football, but I completely understood the games being called off in mark of respect and tribute to her, and we make sure that when we do play tomorrow night, that we do the best we very can.
So in terms of the football being off, you mentioned there, and how did you adapt to the change? Because it was obviously very unexpected. It came on Friday.
Yeah, well, we didn't know, even in training and in the lead up to the game, what the situation was going to be in terms of the game being played or not. So I didn't name the team. Normally I name the team before training in a team meeting. I held off and waited for Claire to give me a text while we were training. I knew straight away, so we could actually adapt the training on Friday literally and adapt straight away, which was great for us. And we played a behind closed doors game between ourselves on Saturday for 60 minutes, which was again a really good workout for the players that need minutes, and also for the work we've done tactically this week. This has been the first week we've had since the start of the season where we've had a clear week to work in terms of how we want to play, in terms of underpinning the values and the style of play that I want to implement, and also to make sure we can tailor the sessions for the players in terms of their physical output. So in terms of that, I'm really, really happy. But it's all good responding well on the training pitch to what was a disappointing performance last Saturday. We've got to go and do it tomorrow night.
You mentioned the in-house training game on Saturday. Was that, I suppose there was probably a thought, give them the weekend off, but for you, was it a case of you've built up towards Saturday that you felt that that's what the players and you guys particularly need?
We have our whole season planned out. Myself, Luke Jenkinson, Justin, we tailor our program. We have a season's plan in terms of how we need to work fitness-wise. So it doesn't really adjust anything in terms of the outputs the players need to reach to be at tip-top condition for the upcoming games. So we tailor training precisely for that. It maybe would have been easy to give them 2 days off, but I wasn't feeling in that kind of mood. But they trained great. They trained really, really well, really, really good intensity to the game. It was actually higher than the intensity of a normal game. So the players are at it, and we need to be to move forward.
On to Lincoln then, and I suppose the messaging from you to the players is exactly the same as it was ahead of Morecambe, and you just mentioned it in the previous answer there, that it's great showing that reaction in training. Yeah. To the Plymouth game, now go and take it into the game. Yeah, it's a great
indicator of where we are as a group, me included. You know, I was always aware we were going to have setbacks through the season. Nobody goes through a season, unbeaten. Liverpool lost to Napoli 4-1. I'm sure they'll respond well. Good teams and good coaches respond well to setbacks. So I can't wait for the game tomorrow. It's come around a bit later than I wanted it to. I always want to just respond to a defeat or a poor performance on the Tuesday after a Saturday. Hopefully the fact we've had to wait, I feel like the players are chomping at the bit to go up there and put things right, and I'm sure we can do that tomorrow night.
Lincoln then, what's your views on them? They've had a start, they haven't lost many games, but they haven't won that many either, because I think they've got 4 draws from their 7 games, which that would indicate that they're difficult to beat.
They play a really a nice style of football. I think Mark Kennedy's gone in there with a clear idea of how he wants to play. 4-3-3, they play out from the back. Similar principles to us, just a few tweaks. So tactically we need to be really, really good. We need to be really, really disciplined and organised. And on top of that, we need to dominate the game in terms of the way that we play. They've got some outstanding individual technical players we need to be aware of, but at the same time, it's about us. I'll say that probably every game that we play. If we perform well and we play with an intensity, then we have a really, really good chance of winning the game.
How's the squad looking injury-wise?
Squad's looking good. Great to have James Chester. He played 45 minutes on Saturday in the training match. He's still, again, we need to get him up to speed in terms of the minutes he's missed in pre-season. Corey Smith won't be available for this one, and James Chester won't be available. But it's great to have our captain back in amongst the squad. And again, it's a really difficult decision for me to make in terms of Richard Stearman's been absolutely superb in the games that he's played. But we've got our captain back, so that's a decision I've already made, but I'm not going to tell you which way I've gone.
Which kind of moves on nicely to selection issues. I think you mentioned it last week as well. You're going to have some big decisions soon if hopefully James Chester comes back into the fold, Corey Smith as well, Josie Fanang as well, that some players are going to miss out. But I suppose that's the beauty and maybe the pitfalls of management as well.
I think I said even in pre-season, before we got the numbers of players that we did in the end, I always wanted a squad in around 19, 20 top players. I think if you want success in the league, you need players who you may get injuries, touch wood you don't, but you're going to for a season. You might get a loss of form, and you want players who are going to make this first 11 just as strong. So I think I've got 18, 19 players, no matter what first 11 I pick, it's just as strong as the other one. And what also that means is our bench is strong. So if we need to make in-game changes or adjustments, we can, and be really, really strong at the end of games. So I'm delighted to have these problems. It's problems I've never had in terms of what we've had before, in terms of the numbers of the squad. And it's one where the players know they have to be 100% at it, and they have to be in a team that wins to stay in the team.
And just lastly, I know you mentioned it before, the Morecambe game as well. With that game being called off though, Lincoln's the 5,000th league game in the club's history. I imagine the messaging again is exactly the same.
Exactly the same.
You want to mark it with a win.
We want to mark every game with a win. I think I said it last week, the magnitude of the club is not missed by myself or any member of staff or any player. And to mark such an amazing occasion would be great to have 3 points coming back home for tomorrow night.